Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new IronMan League Racing video. This is round 2 of the championship. If you have not watched round 1 yet, then make sure to go and check it out. We did not have a great start to the season, to be honest, but today we're gonna try and turn that around by getting back into the top spot of the championship. 100% league race, as you can see in the top left, so we're not gonna take too much risk in the opening few laps of this race. And into turn 1 we're gonna go down the inside. You can see we've started on the soft compound of tires as rain is expected later on in this race. A bit chaotic here off the line, as you can see. I was taking it a little bit carefully and that lost us some positions, but at least we managed to stay in the race. And you can see our teammate Danny Bresnay got the perfect start up to P11 on the mediums, whereas we barely gained any positions here on the soft. So P16 it is now as we go around the outside into the long right-hander and up to P15 we go. Maybe we can make it P14 in the right-hander right here. You can see Dylan Warren ahead of us, Ferrari esports driver, getting up to P12. And now we're gonna have a cheeky little look down the inside of Janos Vilas and up to P13. So great opening lap so far, considering we had quite a scruffy opening few corners where we could have gained a lot more positions, but we didn't. So mixed feelings about the opening lap so far, but we still got our front wing, we're still in the race, and we gained position, so not too shabby for 100% race. As Janos Vilas comes back at us into turn 1, we're gonna go defensive, brake deep, and he did not have the grip on the outside to really challenge us there, so he had to back off. And now we're behind Norby Zabo-Konyi in the Aston Martin. He's on the mediums, so he should have a lot less grip, and this shouldn't be too hard of a move to make. And you can see he's struggling for traction relative to us, so we're gonna tuck in the slipstream, not using any of my battery just yet, but we are definitely going to go for a move into turn 1, either around the outside or down the inside. You can see he squeezes a little bit, but we managed to keep the momentum around the outside and almost slip up to P12. Now we're going to turn on the overtake button and we're going to get DRS, so is Norby Zabo-Konyi. And now we're going to try and send it down the inside of turn 4 and move up to P12 on the softer compound of tires. Went a little bit wide there, but we did manage to pull it off in the end. And now we're behind Dylan Warren, Ferrari esports driver, who it is a team championship, so Ferrari is our main threat in this league, as we're now behind our teammate Danny Bresnay, who is trying to get past Timbo, the owner of the league actually, Timbo. And you can see it's raining quite hard now, so the soft tires were definitely the right ones to start on. It's just that Danny got an insane opening few corners to this race.
You're not boxing, right?
No. Not this lap. I think you should go this lap.
Yeah, I agree.
Probably.
And as you can see, we're gonna go onto the inters here at the end of lap 7. And it will dry up later in this race again.
Undercutting me. Not too good already. That's definitely a good choice. Just the usual Jarno strategy.
I mean, I thought I was gonna lose time, but if I stay out on a lap, then I get completely screwed.
Yeah. I won't lose too much, to be honest, but you will be fine. Because this lap is mandatory pit for sure. From sideways.
So yeah, as you can hear our teammate Danny Bresnay says, we're still out on track on the slicks. That he lost a lot of grip as soon as he went into turn 1. And that means we might be able to get an undercut here on our outlap on the intermediate. You can see we are struggling a little bit as well. I didn't feel like I had loads of grip relative to proper intermediate conditions, so I wasn't sure if it was the right call. We are gonna have more tire wear as well, of course. The inters wear out really fast if you're on a kind of dry track. As you can see, our teammate is boxing now.
Somebody stayed out for an extra lap.
Yeah, that's
yeah, because probably they need it.
Can you please move your microphone a little bit further away? You're so loud.
And yeah, as you can hear Danny say, there is someone staying out, and that's because Ferrari did the opposite to us, and they did not box early like I did, and then you're forced to stay out an extra lap on basically wet conditions on slicks, and you will lose so much lap time. So I decided to take the pain, go a lap early, hurt my tires a little bit, but actually it ended up being faster. Even though initially I thought I was going to lose time, it did end up being the right decision. As you can see, we came out ahead of our teammate Danny Bresnay, so we did get the undercut on quite a few cars, and the Ferrari, the Ferrari that stayed out got
Whoever stayed out is good for him.
the perfect strategy.
That's actually crazy.
And yeah, he's gonna get a free pit stop now and not lose that crazy amount of time that he would have lost otherwise on slicks in wet conditions. So Ferrari 1-2 at the moment. Not ideal once again. Last week out in Monza we had a terrible race as well. We're a little bit unlucky, a little bit clumsy, so not great. But we're gonna go racing again and try to get to the front of the field and get a good restart here. We're on P8 as Gap spins around, and we've instantly gained 2 positions into turn 1, so perfect restart of this race for us. And yeah, you can see up front there battling a little bit as well, so that's even better news for us as we go into turn 4 up to P5, and now we are not too far away from the Ferrari Esport guys, right behind Milan Meyer and Ben Sabo Konyi. And now these guys are more esports levels that we're gonna approach, so they're gonna be harder and harder to overtake as we move forward. And yeah, Milan Meyer usually it's not quite F1 esports space, he is just slightly below it. And then you got Ben Sabo Koning, who is a Haas F1 esports driver, so yeah, he is not gonna be easy to overtake in wet conditions. The people who play the F1 game know how hard it is to overtake in wet conditions when you've got no DRS. That's the main issue. No DRS makes it super hard to overtake because the slipstream effect on the F1 games is not huge, and yeah, that just makes it quite hard to overtake in these conditions. Not to mention that there is no wet lines, so you're basically just running the dry line, and that makes it harder to overtake as well in these wet conditions. So up to P4 we go. We're on the outside of Milan Meyer, and now we're gonna hand down the 3 F1 esports drivers ahead of us. Dylan Warren is not officially an F1 esports driver, but he is reserve driver for the Ferrari esports team, or dev driver, I'm not sure, but he's basically on the pace of F1 esports driver, so we count him as an F1 esports driver as well. And let's see if we can go for a move soon, because we have gained a lot of time in the past lap to these guys ahead of us here, because we had to overtake all of these cars and we still gained time, so that shows that we've got great pace.
It's going to be getting much lighter over the next 10 to 15 minutes. There should be more grip, but don't expect a dry track yet. It's hard to say if inters or wets are better right now.
And as you can see, end of lap 15, I am boxing for the full wets and try and make up over a pit stop.
I think I will miss this stop.
And we're gonna try and gain over a pit stop distance back to the leaders of this race, which is not gonna be easy, of course. The wets are usually not a great tire on the F1 game. Usually the inters are the dominant one, but we're gonna risk it. Gotta risk it for the biscuit, because I felt like I was a little bit stuck behind these guys and I wanted to do something different, so I was a little bit annoyed that Benz did the same as me, because now I'm stuck behind him again. And as you can see, we are gaining to Benz Iles, who is on the wets as well. I'm not sure when he boxed. I think he might have gone to wets straight away. But of course, if you're driving on wets in intermediate conditions, the tires will wear out quite fast because it's too dry for those tires to handle such dry conditions. And now we're gonna go on the attack on Ben Sabo into turn 1. We're gonna brake as late as we can and move up to P9 around the outside. Let's see if Benz can get a switchback, because he can't quite. He actually hit a rear wheel a little bit trying to perform the switchback, but up to P9 we go. And now we've got Timbo in P7, which is a great
What is your
delta
lap
for
time,
us
Danny?
to see how much we're gaining to the intermediate runners. You can see now, suddenly it's 3.5 seconds the gap.
22.9. Yours?
21.1.
So yeah, as you can see there, we're gaining almost 2 seconds per lap at the moment, which means we only need 10 laps of these wet weather conditions in order to make up a pit stop distance. But unfortunately, VSC has come out. Now we don't have to box, but it is drying up, and that has just wasted a lap of catching up for us. Because it is going to dry up eventually again, so we have to catch up before it dries up completely. And down the inside of Timbo we go, and now we've got our teammate Danny Bresnay 13.5 seconds ahead. So let's see how fast we can bring that delta down in the coming few laps. We have been on the wet tires for 5 full laps now. We boxed at the end of lap 15.
It's getting lighter now, but it's going to take a while for the track to dry out. Full wet seemed like the best tyre for now.
We boxed at the end of lap 15. And now we've just started lap 21, so 5 laps done on this set of wets, and we still got 13 seconds to catch up, so quite a lot to still catch up. But you can see, just on this lap alone, we've already gained 1.5 seconds to Danny Bresnan and Istvan Pukki, as virtual safety car has been deployed, and that has swapped to a full safety car now. So
Yeah, I'm pitting for Inters.
So the rain's easing off a bit, but the track is still going to be wet for a while. Be careful. Okay, full wet seems to be the fastest tyre for now.
Yeah, I'll go for new Inters as well.
Mate, Dylan put on wet tires. I think
Really?
he's done. He put wet tires from the lead.
and yeah, as you can hear Danny say
How are
there,
they so much ready?
Ferrari eSport driver Dylan Warren went for new wets, whereas we're going back to Inters because, yeah, it is a bit of a tough pill to swallow that we went to wets and we were catching up probably fast enough to make up for the pit stop that we made.
This one has gone Inter, so.
But
There's
now,
actually no grip though.
relatively, we've lost out to at least a teammate, Danny Bresnay. Because by the end of this safety car, it is going to be intermediate conditions again. Maybe not straight away, but at this point you're not going to gain a full pit stop distance back anymore, which is very frustrating. You can see Dylan Warren has decent grip on the restart. Istvan Pukki struggling on the intermediates, and we're going to go and try. I'll go all the way around the outside in this long left-hander, turn on the overtake button, little bit of a wiggle on the exit there, and we're going to go side by side into turn 4. Let's see if you can brake later into turn 4. I've braked a little bit too late, locked up and gone wide. Now we're going to have to try and rejoin and stay ahead of Zoltan Boda behind us, who is 1.8 tenths behind, so very close to losing out the position there. But you can see Dylan Warren has good grip on those wets. Now the question is for how much longer, because it doesn't look like he's gaining enough to make up for a complete pit stop and box again for Inters. Anyway, we're gonna go on the attack again into turn 1, around the outside of Istvan Pukki. We're gonna try and go for another switchback. Istvan gets a little bit of a slide, which helps us set up this switchback into turn 3. And you can see, it looks like we're not gonna be close enough to go for a move into turn 4, unfortunately. So once again, we're gonna have to sit back and try again next lap. And once again, we're gonna turn on the overtake button and go for the move into turn 1 in the slipstream of Istvan Pukki. He goes defensive once again, and once again we're gonna go around the outside. Can we outbrake him into turn 1? We can, and we go all the way around the outside and move up to P3, crucial for the team championship. And you can see Dylan Warren is starting to lose out on those full wet tires, and he is going to be struggling with overheating more and more as the laps go on. There's no way he's going to be able to sit this one out until it dries up completely, because the wets will completely destroy themselves in just a few laps time if it starts to dry up, and he will lose out much more than a pit stop distance. So he's going to have to box again. He's trying to hold up our teammate Danny Bresnay as much as possible, of course, and Danny is trying to find his way around him. And yeah, you can see how much time they are losing. We're just battling here. We've pulled off a 1.3 second lead just on this lap to Istvan Pukki, and that shows that we have great race pace in these wet conditions. Dylan is going to box this lap anyway and go for a new set of intermediates because he is losing too much time at this point relative to the rest of the grid. He's going to drop all the way back to P17 or P16, I think so. And yeah, that was a suboptimal strategy for him. Even if the safety car came out came in 1 or 2 laps earlier, I reckon he would have still lost out on that strategy. So safety car once again in lap 30, and it is going to dry up soon.
Looks like the weather's going to dry up in about 5 minutes time. Inter seems to be the fastest tyre for now.
You reckon we should box?
I don't know for what, because it's 5 minutes and the rain ends.
Inter's look like the best tyre for now.
I don't know, man. I have no idea.
I will just do opposite to you.
I mean, I will stay out then.
Okay, yep, I'll box.
What do you put on? Dries?
Yeah.
Fuck me. This can make or break the race.
Yeah, well, for both of us, it's literally, well, half the grid has gone slicks as well, so.
Inter's look like the best tyre for now.
What did you box?
Wait, this race is never fucking restarting. People just don't catch the safety car, probably on purpose.
I've got no full power. Oh my god.
Mit csinálnak az emberek? Úristen!
So yeah, as you could hear there from the conversation we had, very risky to go for slicks. We still got Istvan Pukki,
Mate, look
and
at the map, what people are doing.
Wait, what? What happened?
we still got Istvan Pukki, and I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that guy's name. We got AMS, I'm just gonna call it AMS, on the intermediate still, and you can see it's still wet, but the track is drying, it has stopped raining, and there is no way they're gonna be gaining a full pit stop distance. They have gained 2 seconds already just in the past few corners, so it is going really fast, but anyone who plays the F1 game knows how fast the track dries up, and once it stops raining, it dries up so incredibly fast. So it was a huge risk to box onto slicks under the safety car that early, but it was well worth it, as you can see, because we're leading the race now, and our teammate Danny Bresnay got stuck behind a train of cars which for some reason didn't quite restart the race, so he lost out 10 seconds before the race even restarted, basically. As
He's from 5 seconds. The guy behind 8.
AMS both pull into the box for a new set of slicks now. The grip is still not quite optimal. As you can see, DRS enabled right there. We're still moving around and sliding around quite a lot on the slicks, so grip is not optimal. But we are leading by 2.3 seconds to Ben Sabo, who is on the hards, so he's definitely going to the end of the race. And then we got a 5-second gap to Zoltan Boda on the medium. So the gaps are quite big, as you can see from the minimap, after just 2-3 laps after the safety car. But in lap 59 now, I decided that I had to make another pit stop. The softs were not making it to the end, and we only got a 4.4 second lead, actually, to Ben Sabo. So in the last 12 laps, we're gonna have to make up pretty much an entire pit stop distance. I think around 16 seconds is what we're gonna have to gain here on the set of mediums to the end of the race. I decided to go for mediums because I felt like they were the better race tire. I went for softs after the rain, obviously because softer tires work better in cold, rainy conditions. And yeah, as you can see, we got Danny Bresnay, who went for a second pit stop as well. 3 seconds behind us, he went for the softs. And now we're gonna go on the attack. Lap 61 here, and you're about to see how much more grip we have compared to the cars ahead. we're in a completely different league here. It's almost like we're in a different car class. It's like LMP1 versus LMP2. And we just drive around the outside there up to P5. And we still got a big gap to cover though. 10 laps to go at the end of this one. And Ben Sabo Konyi is getting past start finish in around 2 seconds. And yeah, the question is, will we catch up? We are going to get DRS here, so that is perfect timing for us and helps us gain a little bit extra time in the catch-up to the lead again. We got Danny Bresnay behind us as well. It is a team championship, so ideally I wanted Danny to get back into my DRS so I could pull him along, but obviously winning gains you a lot more points than getting P2 and P3. So yeah, ideal scenario was not gonna work. We just had to push flat out from here on. Again, a perfectly timed pass to Istvan Pukki. Got easy DRS pass on him and lost very little time. And you can see now, with 7 laps to go, we are 6.3 seconds behind Ben Sabo Konyi. We're gonna get DRS from Dylan Warren here. We're not gonna have an overtaking opportunity into turn 1, but there's gonna be another DRS zone after turn 2 and 3. And you can see how much later we can break into turn 1. We're gonna get DRS here, another easy DRS pass, and up to P2 we go. We're gonna have to gain 5.5 seconds in the next 7 laps. And we set a purple first sector. Let's see if we can perhaps go for the fast lap of the race here as well. That's what I'm pushing for, an extra point in the championship. And we set the fast lap of the race with a 108.167. Perfectly timed with that DRS as well. It's probably gained me an extra 2-3 tenths on that push lap. And that makes it slightly harder for the rest of the grid to box and try to beat that lap as well, of course. Now, you can see we have already catched up to Ben Sabo Konyi. And yeah, I wanted to save a bit of fuel because it was a little bit tight on fuel. And saving fuel in slipstream and DRS is just slightly easier because obviously you got less air resistance from the slipstream and the DRS. So saving fuel becomes a little bit easier into turn 1. You can see we are lifting and not passing him. Simply so we can save a bit of fuel. It is really hard to nail the fuel in these kind of races.
Save fuel in the middle sector.
Because if you put in too much fuel, it is kind of a silent race killer because you lose time lap after lap. But then of course, if you put in too little fuel and there's
lap, I think.
no safety cars or no rain or not enough rain and not enough safety cars, then you're gonna have to do loads of lift and coasting and you lose so much lap time. So it is really hard to balance out in these races when you don't know the track beforehand and have no preparation of race strategy or how much fuel you have to put in the car. And as you can see here, we're slowing down Ben Sabo a little bit in order to get Danny Bresnay back into that DRS. We pulled the gap to Danny.
You can pull off, man.
His tires were obviously slightly
Thank you very much.
older.
No worry.
And yeah, Danny was probably not going to catch up to Ben Sabo Konyi as his soft tires were degrading really fast. So bit of teamwork then. I don't like to do it, but in the end of the day,
try to keep you up. So I don't think he will be able to.
Just for this DRS straight on.
Yeah.
yeah, as I said, I don't like to do it because, yeah, I wish there was like
perfect. Thank you.
a rule against it in every league because it's too easy to hold someone up in league racing, I feel like, relative to real life. And yeah, I just don't like it, but it is a team championship in the end of the day. So yeah, a little bit mixed feelings about it, but we have to gain some points back to Ferrari after last week's disaster on Monza. Anyway, easy win for us. 3 seconds to Danny Bresnay, our teammate. It's going to be a 1-2 plus the fastest lap in round 2 of the Ironman League.
Nice job, man.
Yeah, grazie ragazzi.
Fun race. A little bit more boring for you than for me. I was nearly dead last after the safety car.
So yeah, as you can hear Danny say, it felt like a little bit of a boring race for us, but because it's such a long race, there's still so much that happens in a highlight video, because yeah, we start last every race. We first have to get to the front, of course. So even though it felt a little bit boring the second half of the race, it was probably still a very exciting race to watch. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Make sure to like and subscribe to watch more league racing videos. Loads of more league racing videos coming. PSGL starting soon again as well. WR again on Sunday the 7th. Happy New Year to everyone watching this, by the way. Hope you guys all had amazing festive days, and hope you guys will enjoy the content even more in 2024, because I've got some big ideas coming for content this year. So yeah, make sure to subscribe if you want to watch that, and see you guys next time. Ciao.